Greetings, Judah. DFG here, Gideon Flight. Hey guys, if I look a little, what I guess the world would call angry, this morning, probably because I am, and I'll share with you, what angers me this particular morning. I read in the papers or online this whole thing about, we finally got justice. And I quote, let me say it again. I read online, and this is in relationship to Ahmaud Arbery's murderers being convicted. And the headline is, "We finally got justice." And that's just, and I think about this, and I'm like, what kind of idiots are we? We have to be a particular type of idiot to somehow conclude that 3 white vigilantes who murdered an innocent black man for no other reason but jogging past their house, and we come to the conclusion that that's justice because they were held accountable. No, what justice should look like to us is the fact that no one should be putting their hands on us without a justifiable reason. And the fact that that happened and this man was slaughtered, that in itself tells you that justice is not what we are receiving here. That is the epitome of injustice. Guilty, not guilty. What does that mean to Ahmaud Arbery? Oh, his soul arrest. Bullshit. Our book tells us that a living dog is better than a dead lion. There's no justice in this. There's no justice for him. He got slaughtered. The last thing this man saw was these murderous, vicious devils shooting him, blowing his hands off, blowing his chest out. That's the last thing he saw. And the audacity for anyone to say he got justice. That is the epitome of buffoonery and stupidity. How is that justice? Well, yeah, DFG, but they were held accountable. Look, they were held accountable in a system that has shown itself over and over and over again to not have any mercy on us. And holding them accountable by saying they were guilty of something that they obviously did. The whole thing is a mockery. The whole trial was a mockery. A mockery. Because you can see on tape that they did it. You can see on tape the man was not, even if he was armed, he had a Second Amendment right to be armed. But he wasn't armed. His only crime was the fact that he's a black man, so-called, in America. That was his crime. But in a system as wicked as this system is, a judicial system that was put in place to keep our people under constant surveillance, constant duress, making us the consummate victim of their brutality, their viciousness, their wickedness. These dogs, these devils, are going to be held accountable by Elohim. That's when you're going to see justice. There's no justice in murdering our people, and then the same murdering court system, the same murderous judicial system say, oh, well, I guess, this is so obvious, it's no way for us to be able to circumvent this. Although one of the so-called defense attorneys for those wicked devils said that the man had long toenails on his dirty feet as they were looking at his corpse, or I guess his autopsy. But again, we as a people, walking, some of us, not all of you, but too many of us walking around beating our chest like, see, justice has finally prevailed. The justice would have been that they would have left him alone. Anything other than them leaving him alone, not bothering him, anything other than that was unjust. He's not, what kind of justice is being murdered, slaughtered? And then your murderers, that obviously had every intention to slaughter you. And then when somebody say, well, they slaughtered him, so now, y'all got y'all justice now. Y'all should be happy. Seriously? Seriously? Again, my brothers and my sisters, it's time to wake up. It is time that we open up our eyes and begin to see what is obviously a culture of hatred towards our people. When you look at, I'm going to take this over to the book, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess this is probably a great segue into, Psalms, 83. Praise Yah. Didn't intend to go here, but that's what the Rahuk is sending me. And maybe this will help some of our people understand that if you're talking in terms of justice, Satan's house is not divided. The devils are not divided. So there is no justice among, there's no honor amongst thieves. You're all familiar with that, right? There's no honor amongst thieves. There is no justice amongst murderers. These people have been murderers from the beginning, according to the word. Their father is the father of murder. Wherever they came from the north, those Caucasoid mountains, wherever they originated, however they originated, the one thing you can believe is that they were killers and murderers, liars and thieves from their inception. And they are not going to change. They're not going to change. And as long as we, or some of us, walk around, letting them off or somehow or another, thanking them, y'all finally did the right thing by us. Thanking them for holding themselves accountable for the wickedness that they do. And they will continue doing it. In your ignorance is your bondage, my brothers and my sisters. In your ignorance. Because you refuse to recognize these people for what they are. Evil beasts. With a rare occasion, just a rare occasion, one of them might break away from the masses and be an outlier, an outlaw. And then try to do the right thing, but then they will sick their Kyle Rittenhouses on them and murder them. To make sure that their outliers understand, if you try to run over to those people, meaning the Israelites, we will slaughter you too. Justice for Ahmaud Arbery, a man whose body is was probably already been eaten by maggots now. His corpse rotted in the grave. And some of us have the audacity to beat our chest and say, see, the devil's held the devils accountable now. So that means, there is justice in the land. Yah have mercy on us. Yah have mercy on our souls. Because this is just too much. I'm not talking about what they did, because they are going to do what they're going to do. Our book says the thief come to steal, kill, and destroy. They are going to be true to their nature. What's sad is that we, in this day and time, in this late day and time, still refuse to acknowledge these people for who they are and what they are. Murderers, killers of innocent men, women, and children without any remorse. And these wicked devils will tell you, when you start bringing up their past about the viciousness that they've always done to us, Ahmaud Arbery is not the first, so-called black man to get slaughtered by white men. Come on, wake up. He's not the first. This is their tradition. Hell, today, Thanksgiving morning, they celebrate another tradition, Thanksgiving. But what many of you don't know, that you have aligned yourself with them in celebrating the massacre of your own people. The Pequot Indians, 700 of them murdered, burned to death by heathenist Europeans for no other reason because they wanted their resources. They murdered them because they wanted their land, they wanted their food, they wanted their property. Killed them and stole it and took it and then celebrated it. And many of you are sitting here, breaking bread. See that turkey, that fried turkey you eating? Well, turkey, some of you are nothing but a bunch of turkeys. Malcolm called you, said you're nothing but a bunch of turkeys. That fried turkey, do you realize that you were the fried turkey? Just so you know, you were the fried turkey 400 plus years ago, give or take. You, your ancestors, were the first fried turkey because they burned them to crisp for their Thanksgiving, to honor their Thanksgiving, to go to their wicked God and tell their wicked God, thank you for protecting us as we come out and we have stolen and we have murdered and we have raped and we have burned. Now we break bread as a family and we eat. And many of you in your own ignorance are participating in that today. And then you get mad with me, oh, it's about family. It's always been about family, just not your family, dummy. Respectfully, dummy. Respectfully, dummy. Then that our book tells us Elohim people perish for a lack of knowledge. In your ignorance lies your demise. In our ignorance lies our demise, my sisters and my brothers. There's no substitute for it. And as long as we go around celebrating things, oh, justice for Ahmaud Arbery, because the three murdering devils that we saw obviously shoot this man down and slaughter him for no reason, now we're going to walk around like it's a badge of honor because they were found guilty of what they obviously did. Damn. It was obvious they murdered the man, and we're celebrating because somebody say they were guilty, when we know they did it, and they've always done it. Solomon once said there's nothing new under the sun. He told us, he said, my brethren, there is nothing new under the sun. As it was yesterday, so shall it be today. We're celebrating, some of you are celebrating the day, the slaughtering of your people. Some of you are celebrating the day, the conviction of these three murderous devils of our brother. Nothing new. Still celebrating the slaughter of your own kind. And the heathens just sitting over there laughing. You think any of them are in regret today? You think any white supremacists sitting around today, white vicious vengeance, which is most of them, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. Even the ones who are smiling in your face, they're just as wicked as the ones who growl in your face. Do you think any of them are having a bad day today because three of them were convicted of killing one of us? Hell no, those three men are going to be alive. They're not going to die for what they did. That's not justice. Justice meant that they would have taken them out once they found them guilty. Justice would have been, not really justice, but maybe you can use the word, I guess going back to our law, eye for an eye. So the right thing would have been to take them out in the back of the courtyard and give them Mars, his brothers, friends, sisters, anyone who is courageous enough, give them shotguns and let them blow those devils back to hell where their father came from. Now that would have been righteous. Anything less than that, unrighteous. Anyone celebrating that, you ain't nothing but a fried turkey on their dinner table. Though their white counterparts are not having any kind of problem because the die was already cast. In other words, they murdered the man, and that's what and that's what they are good with. They don't give a damn about going to prison. Shit, they're gonna be treated like model inmates in there, I guarantee you. They're going to probably have more fun me, and just jokers will probably have access to any damn thing they want behind them prison walls. They'll be living better than them little dirty, filthy, wretched-ass crackers could have ever been living in that little suburb of Borengswick or whatever hell they came from in Georgia. Justice? Justice? They don't even know what that is. They don't even know what that is. What our book says, praise y'all. You're going to have to bear with me for just a second because I'm going to give you the word. Because too many of our people are not understanding that we live amongst our enemies. Blood enemies. What I mean by that, this is a deep, entrenched hatred of us by these people. Deep. It goes well beyond the natural. This is a spiritual wickedness. Why don't you think they're trying to, they put all this poison in our land? In other words, our communities. The poison food, poison water, poison medicine. Yeah, that one too. You know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, that too. Why do you think they put that in our community? Why do you think they encourage our mothers, potential mothers, our women, to go and slaughter their babies, one out of every two of them, so that their life can be better? Remember us building Planned Parenthood clinics anywhere? Do you have any knowledge of us, coming up with the science of eugenics? I mean, do you not remember that in Egypt, our first captivity, that their king told their men and their women, their midwives, to kill every man-child of our women? You don't remember that? To kill every man-child. Not the firstborn, every man-child. And they want you to believe that something has changed with them. No, this is a blood hatred they have for us. Deep entrenched. It's a spiritual wickedness that they have towards our people. Men, women, and children. Nothing new about this. And quite frankly, let me tell you something else, my sisters and brothers. Nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change with these people. That's why you had better wake up if you want to survive the calamity to come. You better wake up. You better open up your eyes. You better arm yourself. You better get together with like-minded brothers and sisters, and you better build up some resistance within yourself to fight back. Because if these wicked devils have their way, they're going to slaughter every last one of us. Yeah, they let one off the hook. They convicted 3, but they let another one off the hook. And celebrating him. And while at the same time they convicted them 3. That's called a throw off. Ahmaud Arbery's killers, that's a throw off. That's a distraction. At the end of the day, they're breaking bread today. They're enjoying their Thanksgiving holiday. And I can assure you, Kyle Wittenhouse is getting a lot of that, boys. While many of us are sitting there, eating food that are sacrificed to gods, because that's what Thanksgiving origins come. They sacrifice to their vicious Baal god, that he gave them the victory of slaughtering men, women, and children, old and young, burning them to death, 700 of them, right here in New England, just for the record. But they want to tell you to tell me it's all about family. Well, I'm not buying it. If you want to buy it, you want to be, deceived by them, you want to partake in their wickedness so bad that you want to go ahead forward and do it, then do it. Do what you want to do. I'm always going to take the side of our ancestor Joshua. He said, y'all do whatever y'all want to do. As for me and my house, I'm going to stay on your side. Don't you know that every time we participate in their wickedness, we empower them and we weaken us? That's why they feed our blood. That's why they want our blood to offer sacrifice to their gods, because when they do that, they become emboldened, they become stronger as they annihilate us, and we become weaker. Every time we participate in all of their paganistic holidays, it strengthens them and weakens us. This is a spiritual battle as much as it's a physical battle. And if we're not careful, there'll be none of us left. And thank Yah, he's not leaving it up to many of you, because if it was left up to you, you would do just what you always do. You would sell us out for a bowl of soup, or for a turkey, or a Christmas tree. Oh, what about the children? Maybe that's something you should be asking their wicked ass when they were slaughtering our children. You're going to say, what about the children? Maybe that's something you should be asking them when they start talking about, when you go over and talk about, well, what about the children? Halloween is for the children. Christmas is for the children. What is abortion clinics for then? It's all about the children. Tell me why we have abortion clinics all over the black community. Why are 50% of the abortions being performed on less than 3% of the female population, our women? If it's all about the children, according to many of you. You want to say you do these things, Halloween, Christmas, all because it's about the children. Well, what about the babies that are getting slaughtered before they can even make it out of their mother's wombs? Since you so, empathetic for the children. Where's your voice? Oh, I get it. Your body, your choice. I get it. Yes, I forgot. But then again, no, I haven't. You're a liar, many of you. You rather embrace the lie than they deal with the truth. But Yahuwah warned us through the letter that Paul wrote to the church at Thessalonica. He said, because they love the lie, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. He said, because they love the lie, he would give them over that they will believe the lies. That's why many of you are sitting here today talking about this is all about family, when it's really about massacre and slaughter this Thanksgiving Day. Oh, we got the victory because, they found those three vigilantes guilty of what we all know they were guilty of. But we don't ask for the capital. We're not asking for capital punishment. We should be saying our laws, talking about Israel, our law says an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, a foot for a foot, an eye for an eye, and a life for a life. If these three men are allowed to live, how is that justice? Not according to our book. And for you Christians, maybe you need to go back and learn your book. I want to say it's Exodus chapter 20, it might be even verse 20. But clearly says it's an eye for an eye and a life for a life. But you too Christianized to accept that truth. Why? Because you love the enemy more than you love the creature more than you love the creator. In other words, you want to be accepted by them. You think if three black men would have murdered a white guy jogging through one of these little urban areas, jogging down the street of one of these so-called ghettos, and they shot him down and murdered him, you think they would not be getting a life sentence? You think they would only be getting off with maybe a life sentence? You don't think that would have been first degree murder and all three of them would have been received capital punishment, and they probably have been expediting them to the gas chambers? But again, in your ignorance lies your demise. Because instead of you seeing with your eyes, you're lusting after the things of this world with your hearts, including approval from them. Because if you accept their judgment, then that says to them, well, see, they're good with it. They're good with that. We've appeased them now. They've got their little piece of meat. But look what we got. There's a science to all of this, my brothers and sisters. There is a science to this. There's a rhythm to all of this. Is it not? Does not our book says, be not deceived, Elohim is not mocked, whatever a man sows he should reap? There's a rhythm. That's called rhythmatic. The devil called it karma. But see, this karma is not going to them. Yes, Yah will judge and destroy all of them, given a little time. But he's also going to judge us for not coming out from among them. 2 Corinthians 6 and 17. That's why he's never going to receive us, because we refuse to come out from among them. We refuse to separate ourselves from them. We want to be just like them. Although they hate us, they only monetize us. They use us for their own pleasures. And then when they're done, they're more than happy to destroy us. Because they know we'll keep on coming like blind sheep being led to the slaughter. Kill one another when it shows up. Get rid of one another when it comes. You know, they like clockwork, they can count on this. You know, don't worry about them niggas. They don't have no hearts. They don't love themselves. Therefore, let them die. Or better yet, let us kill them as they kill themselves. But Elohim said there's going to be a remnant of the people. You know what that means, a remnant? Elohim said it's going to be a few of us who are going to stand up against this, who are going to cry aloud, speak up, fight back, take the necessary steps, educate our people, redirect our people back to the book, help our people understand who they are and their plan and their purpose in this world, so that they're able to overcome the demons that are here, so that when we get to the world where those demons have no more power, we'd understand why Elohim had to eliminate them devils and many of our kind who refuse to come away from them. That's our purpose. That's our strength. Teach. Deuteronomy chapter 6. Men, women, go read it. Please read it. Read what you should be doing with your children. So they're sitting here being upset with me because I'm bringing forward the truth. You hate me because I tell you the truth, or you're conflating this. You know, you're overstating. Or you're trying to make us afraid. Oh no, you're teaching hate. Really? So the murderers get away with their murder, and we're not supposed to talk about that. But when I call them out for their wickedness and their debauchery against us, the murdering of us, and how we should defend ourselves, and we should speak out against them and identify them for who they are, even though our book tells us, resist the devil. So when I tell you resist the devils, I'm preaching hate. You're beguiled. Beguiled. You know what beguiled means? You're deceived. I bring it out because I love myself and I love my people. You fight against me because deep down in yourself, maybe you need to examine what's going on with you. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to accuse you of what you are already demonstrating to all of us, what you believe. You show us that in your actions. You show us that today in your celebrations. You know who you are. No sense to get angry with me. Especially because I know who I am. I'm a Hebrew Israelite male from the tribe of Judah. standing for my people, and loving Elohim, as I am commanded by him to do. But go back, read Deuteronomy chapter 6. Men, women, if you're listening, our book tells us, Proverbs 14:12, I want to say, there's a way that seemeth right to man. So this might look, well, this is innocent. What are you talking about, DFG? You know, these holidays are innocent. Well, our book told you there's going to be things that's going to look innocent that are not innocent. And when you sacrifice to devils, there's your hands, you have the same blood on your hand that the devils have on their hands. When you participate in their celebration and their paganism, you have the same blood on your hands that they have on their hands. Psalms 83. Praise Yah. For you sisters out there and you prayer warriors out there, ask Elohim. I'm so tempted to go grab my glasses so I can see, but I ask that you pray to Elohim for your brother, that I may be able to read these words without going over there, because I don't want to walk away right now. I want to stay right here. I want to stay right here in front of you, because I love you enough for you to know this truth. I love you enough to tell you the truth. And for all you so-called Jesus lovers out there, you're confusing him with Yeshua. Two different people altogether. But this is what Yeshua said. Yeshua said to us, he said that, you know, they will hate you for your name's sake. They will hate you because you are followers of me. He said, if they persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. And don't think strange of that. And he warned, he said, love not the world, neither things of the world, because if you love these things of this world, including their celebrations, his love can never dwell in you. I want to say that's John, maybe chapter 4, 17. You can find it in 1 John. But Yeshua was killed because he spoke out against them. He didn't conform. He didn't walk hand in hand with them. He didn't march in their gay parades and their Black Lives Matter parades, their Thanksgiving parades. He didn't march with them. He was against that. He marched against them. He spoke out against that. He said, don't you conform, but be you transformed. You know what a transformation means? It means there's a changing of your heart, a changing of your mind. We're not supposed to conform to them. We're supposed to resist the devil. But ask Elohim on behalf of your brother. Let's see if I can read this. Psalms chapter 83. It says, praise Yah. He says, keep not your silence, Elohim. Hold not your peace, and be not still. Now look what Elohim is saying to David, to tell us. But I'm not supposed to hold my peace. I'm not supposed to keep silent. Neither should any of you be doing it. He's saying we're supposed to be crying out. Isaiah 58 tells us that. Here's your other precept. Oh, you want to just be quiet and just try to make it. We got to figure this out the right way. We can't be like them. We can never be like them. They're the children of the devil. We're the children of Elohim. We can never be like them. But many of us have taken on their ways, their customs, their beliefs, even their appearance, lightening of the skin, putting weaves in their hair, extending their eyelashes, monetizing their bodies, sexualizing themselves. You know what I'm saying? I said it already. Men and women putting on dresses, men. He goes on, verse 2. For your enemies make a torment. A torment is like a thing, like you put on your head. For your enemies make a torment, and they that hate you have lifted up their heads. This is what's going on right now. They're showing themselves. Rittenhouse, I can't think of the Mac whatever the hell, the Mac Devils, whatever them damn wicked three demons were who slaughtered our brother Aubrey. He said they're coming out now. They're emboldening themselves. He says they have taken crafty counsel against your people. That's the judicial system, making you believe they're doing something for justice when there's no justice in them at all. Crafty counsel against your people, and have consulted against your hidden ones. You know what that means? They're conspiring against our babies. They're pushing a homosexual agenda to our children. They're encouraging our women to kill their babies. They're encouraging our men to abandon their families. Our women, to try to have perpetual youth. In other words, never growing up. And now the daughter and the mother are both running around the street looking like tramps and whores. Looking like, not necessarily being tramps and whores. Although some are tramps and whores. Our men walking around, grown men with their pants sagging and their butts showing, and teaching their sons to dress in that same way. Liars, dishonorable, self-centered, arrogant, narcissistic, lovers of evil more than lovers of the word. Yeah, our men. Verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may not be so or left or no more in remembrance. This is what I'm saying to you, my sisters and brothers. These people are not going to stop. Their agenda is to annihilate or to wipe us off the planet. Go back and read this for yourself. Many of you are thinking that, somehow we could just hug it out with them and just come to the table with them and get them to really see that, the evil of what they're doing, and to see the wickedness of their ways, that maybe they'll wake up and they'll stop. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's in their nature. They can't help themselves. Even when they try to pretend like they love us, it's only for a season. While Yeshua said they're wolves in sheep's clothing. Believe not what they say, but watch exactly what they do. For you will know them by their behavior towards us. And that's clear. Verse 5. For they have consulted together, and with one consent, they are confederate against you, Israel, so-called Negroes, so-called, African Americans. They're confederate against us. I didn't say that. The book says it. The book is telling us to remind us that they are confederate. You know what confederate means? They are grouped themselves up, and not just the so-called white man. Let me be clear here. Yeah, he's the ringleader, no question about it. But the other nations are right there with them. The East Indians, the Arabs, the Hispanics, the Latin Americans, the Central Americans, the South Americans, the Australians, well, that's the Europeans for the most part, the Africans, they're all right there aligned with them, and none of them cry for our babies. None of them care about what happens to us. None of them. They're confederate. In other words, they're working in cahoots. Y'all know what cahoots is. They're whispering in the dark. That's what they conspire in the dark against our little ones. which means they're after the big ones, because it takes the big ones to make the little ones. You get rid of the fathers, you don't have to worry about the children, male or female. You push homosexuality with the fathers and the mothers, you don't have to worry about children. Like cannot produce with like. That's their agenda. But you can't see it because you want to believe their lies. Oh, it's for your best. It's just for a better society. It's to teach us how to love and to be tolerant. Tolerant of what? Wickedness? Yes. That's the tolerance that they're encouraging you to support, and many of you are 100% bought into it. And you will be judged right with the unrighteous for it if you don't repent and come out from among them and denounce it. All of it, I might add. From embracing their pro-choice agenda, their homosexual agenda, their holidays agenda, all of their agenda, their judicial agenda, all of it. Verse 5, for they have consulted together with one another, with one consent. They're all on the same page, and they all are against us. What the book says. Praise Yah. The tabernacles of Edom and Jerusalem, and of the Moabites and the Havites, the Gavites, and it goes on. It names all of these nations. I think it's a total of 9 of them against us. That's all of the people groups on this planet fall into one of 9 groups. All of them, including us. We're Israel. We just don't know it. Many of us. Isaiah talked about that chapter when he said that the ass knows who he is. He says that the ox knows who they are. But he said Israel don't have a clue. Israel still thinking he's biracial, or that he's some kind of other racial. Bisexual. Transsexual. And every kind of wickedness. Again, not all of Israel. Hopefully, some of you were. I know I was. But my eyes were open because my heart was right to know Elohim. And maybe it's time for your eyes to open so that your heart can get right with Elohim, that he may reveal himself to you and you to yourself. So-called Negroes, African Americans, black people here in America. Like Malcolm said, who told you were other than Israel? Of course, your enemies told you that. The ones who are confederate against you lied to you because they knew that if you ever realized that you were Israel, you would figure out they're conspiring against you intentionally, and that they have a diabolical plan for you to rid you and your seed, our children, off this earth. That's why they don't want you to know who you are, because as long as you don't know who you are, then you're whoever they say you are. Therefore, they can have you do whatever they tell you to do. And you do it smiling, just a laughing, giddy. Oh, look at me. I'm so pretty. Yet before the eyes of Elohim, you're wretched. The book says. Revelations chapter 2. They claim to be, they're rich and everything's going great. And he said, no, you're not. You're not rich and wealthy. You're poor and you're wicked. Except you come into the truth of who you are, my brothers and my sisters. Amen. Go to verse 10. Which perish because of the shit on the earth. And it did say that. You're like, wait, why is he cussing? First of all, shit is not a cuss word. But secondly, well, you let anybody tell you whatever you want to tell you. But that's what it just said here. Use the word dung, same word. D-U-N. It said, make the nobles like Orva and Zerah and all of their princes as Zavak. And again, you won't understand those words. If you get I'm reading out of the cipher. Hebrewic words. You may have to go back, respectfully to the elementary words of English and read that for yourself to get a better translation of what I'm saying. Not translation, but a better revelation of the words. Comprehension, maybe that's the right word. Praise Yah. He says, O Elohim, make them like the wheat, or as the stubble before the wind, as the fire which burns the wood, and the flame sets the mountains on fire, as the flame set the mountain on fire. So persecute them with your tempest, and make them afraid of your storm. See, this is what David is saying. David's saying we need to be praying that Elohim come and destroy them. But we're being taught that we're supposed to love them in spite of their wickedness. That's what we're being taught in these demon-led churches. Love your enemies. Do good to them which despitefully use you. That's not what David is saying. And our book says David was a man after Elohim's heart. In other words, Elohim felt like David was a good man who loved him sincerely. David is saying we're supposed to be praying that Elohim kill and destroy them, set them afire as they have set our people afire. Whether they be in the mountains or in the cities or wherever the hell those devils reside, including under the earth. Make a storm, make hurricanes, make tornadoes come, earthquakes come. This is what David is praying. That's what David is saying that we're supposed to be praying. But no, you're being taught, no, it's all about justice. It's all about love. And it's all about getting along. It's all about embracing everyone. Because after all, we are all of the children of Elohim. That ain't what the book says. That's what you say. That's what your wicked preacher says. That's what the Jesuit priest snuck in the New Testament. So-called. Lies, lies, lies. Elohim said, my word will last forever. There's no way it's being written in Psalms that we should be asking Elohim to bring down fire on them and then somehow another down the road in the most wicked time of civilization, we're praying for them? Who prays for a devil? Who in their right mind prays to a devil? Oh, those who serve their children up to devils, those who make sacrifices to devils, those who celebrate devil holidays, those who enter paganistic rituals, societies, fraternities, those who go into their universities and their groves to be educated by devils so that they can become like devils. In other words, the fools, the foolish amongst us. Foolish. Why? Because of lack of knowledge. I'm not calling you a fool to disrespect you. I'm saying your behavior is foolish because you believing the lie. You are believing that they are not confederate against us, although our book says that they are. But you choose to celebrate, that 3 murderers were pretty much told that they were murderers. And that's justice to you. No. Justice is when they take them out the back of the courthouse and blow them back to hell from which they came. Anything less than that is not justice. That's injustice. May y'all bring fire and brimstone on these devils. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of them. I'm sick and tired of every time I get in my automobile and one of their former slave catchers, so-called police, drive behind me, and I got to be looking out of my rear view and looking there to see if their light's going to flash. See if they're getting so close that maybe they're tracking my license plate. Or close enough to see what color the pigmentation is in my skin. Because after all, I know if I get pulled over, my life is like 50-50 chance that I'm going to get out of that situation. That my freedom is at risk. That I won't end up in their jailhouse. Or it won't cause me some type of financial burden that, quite frankly, most of us can't afford. I'm going to get a ticket because of you're black Oh, I'm sorry, you were speeding. Your tail light was out. You were in the wrong lane. Whatever justification. Or you reached in your pocket to get the driver's license that I told you to get, so I had to blow your head off. Philando Castile, ring a bell? And this is who many of you are talking about loving. This is the life you want. This is your abundant life. This is the life you want to pray that Elohim, heals this land and, and restores us go back to normalcy. And that's what you're praying for? That's not what David prayed for. That's not what your king prayed for. All you King David, you lions of Judah, I'm a lion. You're lioness. All you lioness, you female lions. That's not what the lion, the king of Judah, prayed for. The king of Judah prayed that Elohim bring fire upon their asses. So you're not a lion. And you're not a lioness. If you talk about loving them, getting along with them, acknowledging them when they call out their own murderers as though they did something chivalrous. You shit your pants. It's your responsibility to wipe your ass, not ours. That's the equivalent of honoring them for holding their murderers accountable for murder. Malcolm, told us, he said that, there was a difference between some of the people in bondage. He said there was one group in bondage that when a storm or fire came, they prayed that the house burned down, their oppressors' houses. And he said there was another group, who were in the same bondage, but had some privilege because they wanted to assimilate to them, be like them, that prayed that Elohim put the fire out. And would literally, journey in with them to put the fire out. Oh, does that sound familiar? He had a particular term he called them. I'm not going to use it because I'm not in the mood to call us the N-word this morning. And I'm not talking about Negro either. But said there were two separate groups among us. Some who embraced the wickedness and some who hated the wickedness. And some who wanted the wickedness to last because after all, they were benefiting from it. And there was some of them who wanted the wickedness to end and they wanted it to destroyed. I'm in the David group, me. I want y'all to destroy them and destroy all of this shit that they have built up with their hands. Well, with our blood that they own, that they control. Them and all of those who are confederate with them. That's the other 8 nations, just to be clear. Verse 17, and let them be confounded and troubled forever. In other words, he said, let them be confused. Let them not be able to figure out why their economy is crashing. Let them not be able to figure out why 100,000 of their children this year alone died from opioids. ODing on opioids, 100,000 of them. So let them not be able to figure out why that's happening to them. Let them not be able to figure out why their supply chain is disrupted. Why their people don't want to work anymore. Let them be confounded why their bodies are being rashed by something they put out here on everybody. They created it to destroy us, and now it's destroying them. Praise Yah. See, that's where our prayer should be. Not, protect the land and protect the people because we're all one. And bull crap. They know we're not all one, but they damn sure have many of you duped to believing that we are. And you have the audacity to use scripture incorrectly to justify it. Because you're foolish. You think Elohim changes his mind. Elohim said, I am Elohim, I change not. I'm not like man that I have to change my mind, like changing my drawers. He says, no, when I say it, it's forever. Heaven and earth will pass away before his word passes away. I quote. Why would he tell us over here, pray for their destruction, and then go over there and tell us to love them? We don't love devils. Not unless you're foolish. Then if you're foolish, then I guess you're okay with them shooting down your men, encouraging you to kill your babies, using their government system to break up our families, welfare, child support, etc. I guess you're good with all of that. But if you're in your right mind, you understand that those things are not for us, including these wicked-ass holidays that, quite frankly, we don't have the resources to be given to the CEOs and their companies and their corporations to enrich them. But most of the food going to end up in the damn trash can. You know it's the truth. If the food don't end up in the trash can, the paper cups, the napkins, the paper plates, the bottles, the cans, the glass, all that's going to end up in the trash can. And you wasted your hard-earned money paying for that stuff too. Yeah, you paid for the material. You didn't just pay for what you consumed. You paid for all the containers that held the things that you consumed, including the gasoline and everything else that you spent to get wherever you went. Instead of just going about your day like it's a normal day about Elohim's business for your life. That's foolishness. That's what it looks like. In your right mind, you come out from among, you still one, so it ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't have no dog in that fight. Amen. Last verse, he says, that man may know that you, whose name alone is Yahuwah, and Elohim, is all over this earth. He said it so that he's saying that for us to acknowledge that Elohim that Yahuwah is Elohim, is Adonai. He said the only way for this wicked ass world to realize that we have to come out from among them, we have to acknowledge who these devils are, and we have to take a position against them, and even if that means we have to die to do it. We got to get our children out of their wicked systems. We got to stop letting them social engineer our women to make them hate themselves by covering up themselves, to putting on the type of attire that really looks like a whore. Men dressed like little boys, pants hanging, ragged, unclean, unshaven. I'm not talking about shaving your beard. I'm talking about unkempt. Just sitting around and bumming out, sitting on the corners. Unproductive, drunkards, beggars. Yeah, that's our men. Yeah, that's our men. Go outside, go in any ghetto, and you go looking on these corners where these stores are, these liquor stores are, and tell me that our men not sitting out there on their asses like a bunch of bums. That's judgment against us. And you not tired of this. Well, I am. And I'm not going to be silent. And I pray that Yah give you the same courage, sisters. The same courage, my brothers, to speak out against this. There's no justice among thieves. This wicked show they put on yesterday and the wicked show they put on a few days ago in their judicial system was a throwaway, a throw-off to keep you from seeing what they're really trying to do. And what they're really trying to do is rid us off the earth according to the word. And unfortunately, many of our people are ignorantly, and I do give you that much credit, you're doing it out of your ignorance, participating in it. Do you know that most of these corporations that get your money for these holidays are the same corporations that support every kind of oppressive system, including the prison system that many of our men and women are locked up in? Do you realize that when you're supporting these corporations with your hard-earned money to celebrate their diabolical holidays and wicked holidays, these are the same corporations that support private prison industry, which means locking up our men and women and children, miseducating them with lies so they can be disgruntled when they come out of this wicked educational system and hate themselves to the point where they go out and commit all kind of atrocities so that they can either kill them or lock them up. This is where the lack of understanding comes in. Because if we truly understood who these people are, who those people are, and what they're conspiring to do, and that we are truly the target of annihilation by these nations, all of them, not just the white ones. I can get into the Asian, all of them. But of course, you can't know this. Because if you knew this, maybe you would do something about it. So therefore, they got to keep feeding you the devil's bread. So you keep on coming back for more, like a dog going back to its vomit or a pig going back to the mud. Because that's exactly what is happening with most of our people. Ever learning? Oh, you hear this. Many of you have read this. Many of you know these holidays you shouldn't be participating in. And the day you say, well, I'm not going to do it next time, and next time come, you go right back to doing it again. Dressing like whores, dressing like sluggards, bums, or whatever you want to call it. Putting on women's attire. You know it's wrong, but you do it anyway. They depend on you doing it. So you hear the word, but you're not going to do the word. You're just going to make up an excuse. Well, all have sinned. Yeah, and many going to hell for those sins. Just so you know. Including many of you, if you continue in it. Yeshua said that we had to know Elohim's truth, his laws. If we were in this captivity, this bondage, this wickedness against us. To break their confederacy up, that they have conspired against us. That Yah will bring fire and brimstone, tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, diseases, etc. and destroy them for putting their hands on Elohim's elect. That means you. If you're a true believer, and if your eyes are really opened, and you are willing to acknowledge your birthright as Israel. Time will tell. For the record, I judge nobody. Elohim is judging all of it. And if there was a judgment there, it would be to judge righteously. And righteous judgment means we judge by the word. In other words, we use the word to measure our behavior. That's all it means. That's all judgment means. We use the word to measure our behavior. It has nothing to do with me being better than you or you being better than me. Judgment simply means we use the word to evaluate our actions. And when our actions are not consistent with the word, we need to adjust ourselves to the word. That's all judgment means to Israel. That's all I got for you. Unhappy Thanksgiving Day. And may you never, ever celebrate the slaughtering of your people again. DFG, bye now.